hectare parcel of land known municipally as 1111 Elgin Street West, the Northumberland Mall, consisting of a financial institution intended for the relocation of the existing Scotiabank from within the mall, a restaurant with a drive-through facility, and 4 additional retail units within the existing parking area of Northumberland Mall, and this is located north of Dollarama. Members of council, any declaration of interest? Okay, seeing none, to Mr. Larmer for a notification procedure, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of council, notice is published in the local newspaper, posted on the municipal website, cobourg.ca, and circulated to neighboring property owners in accordance with the provisions of the Planning Act.
Thank you very much. And now for the proposed zoning bylaw amendment, we will hear from the applicant and then a summary from our planning department. So first, I'd like to invite Trinity Development Group Inc, a Northumberland Shopping Centre, to provide a background and an explanation of the application for the approval of the proposed amendment to the comprehensive zoning bylaw for number 85-2003. Welcome to Cobourg and Council Chambers.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Eldon Theodore from MHBC here on behalf of Trinity Development Group, and Ali as well from Trinity Development Group. I believe familiar with Ali from the previous meeting. I'm just here to give a quick overview of the proposal. I'll try not to belabor it. I will advise in advance that I've reviewed staff's recommendation report, and we're in support of the recommendations and the proposed draft zoning as it has been formulated. Excuse me, just from a high level, the proposal, the subject lines, which is Northumberland Mall, about 24 acres in size, which 340,000 square foot of the existing shopping center and out parcels exist today. The area that's actually subject to the application is really the area that's identified in the solid red line. The parcel is approximately 0.94 acres. It's part of the overall shopping center. It's the area in which, while it is the focus of the change, it is within an overall boundary that needs to be considered for the zoning application, which is the overall subject lines. And as you were all familiar with this area, it is within a commercial nodal area that provides a mix and range of uses. So this proposal would be complementary and add to the diversity of options that are available along Elgin Street West. In terms of the official plan, subject lands are located in the northwest quadrant of the town, designated as shopping node area. This permits a full range of commercial uses. As well, the policies promote intensification within this designation. From a zoning perspective, the property is zoned shopping center commercial with a number of site-specific provisions broken out in 3 different site-specific zone categories. Our proposal is not seeking to change this, but rather to modify a number of provisions to permit this new infill development. So the proposal itself, as mentioned, is a 6-unit, 929 square meter, or 10,000 square foot, 1-story commercial building, frontage on Elgin Mills Street West, providing for a range of opportunities, retail, restaurant, commercial space, financial space, providing that flexibility for that tenant space to be utilized. Also accommodating a drive-through opportunity associated with where a restaurant would be located within the built form itself. This right here is the proposal, what we're currently looking at in terms of the design of that building, using a mixture of brick elements and stucco, as well as vision glass and spandrel glass to create visual interest in terms of the building facade, and changing material colors as well to create interest and to identify particular focus areas and anchor points within the building itself. Its location on Elgin Mills helps to provide for greater animation and helps to frame the streetscape as you move along the public realm. So just quickly in summary, the proposal, and as noted in staff's report, we believe is consistent with the provincial policies and it's in keeping with the intensification objectives of the growth plan. It conforms to the policies of the Northumberland County official plan as well as the town of Cobourg's official plan. This will permit for a development which is designed with a high level of quality, implementing the urban design policies and guidelines of the town, and will optimize existing municipal infrastructure, including water, sewage, utilities, as well as public transit, through a compact built form as part of the overall shopping center. And that's it for the presentation, and we're happy to answer any questions. Ellie, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
No, that's perfect.
Thank you very much for your concise summary. Any questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, over to our wonderful planning team for their summary of the proposed amendment, please.
Good afternoon, early evening, everyone. So I don't want to go over the same points that Eldon just covered, so I'll make my presentation brief and just fill in the gaps from a municipal side in terms of the review for the zoning bylaw amendment at the Northumberland Mall property, 1111 Elgin Street West. So again, Eldon covered the subject lands, just over 9 hectares in lot area, currently has the Northumberland Mall and several outbuildings, including the LCBO, A&W, and Boston Pizza Plazas. In this case, the purpose of the application is to amend the zoning bylaw to permit a multi-unit freestanding commercial building within the parking lot of the Northumberland Mall, just north of the Dollarama parking lot. Currently, the zoning does permit additional freestanding buildings within the Northumberland Mall parking lot area where this building is proposed. However, it doesn't consider a multi-unit building with a variety of uses, although that these land uses are technically permitted right now in the zoning. There's also other adjustments for just clarity and consistency purposes that are requested with this amendment. This is just a small overview of or an aerial photo of the subject lands there. You'll see highlighted in the green rectangle in the top right corner of the subject property is the proposed general location of the new roughly 10,000 square foot building. There's a number of items that we review with regards to zoning bylaw amendment, keyly matters of provincial interest. In general, that these are just the main considerations as they relate to this application in terms of promoting cost-effective transit supportive development, also promoting development that makes efficient use of our existing infrastructure and resources. In this case, it's my opinion that the proposal does conform with all matters of provincial interest. With respect to the Northumberland County official plan, the property is located within the built boundary and designated an urban area as it relates to the land use plan within the county official plan. Again, it's my opinion that the proposal does conform to the county official plan. It contributes to the creation of a complete community by enabling additional market choice within the community, also opportunities for local employment, integrated transit and use of existing transit systems, not only the municipal transit, but also our active transportation infrastructure along both Rogers Road and Elgin Street West. With respect to our official plan, there is a number of items that we review as part of the official plan, several different policy sections. There's some key considerations here, which is that whether the proposal promotes a sustainable, compact, pedestrian-oriented, transit-supportive built form, in which case I agree that the proposal does support these things. In addition, the official plan has key policies embedded in the plan that protect the viability of the main central area, as well as other commercial or existing commercially designated shopping areas within the town of Cobourg. In this case, the applicant did provide a market retail study in support of the application, which addressed two of the main policies in the official plan that we would be looking at here. Firstly is the policy regarding anchor uses. Anchor uses are main traffic drivers for the main central commercial area, in which we have limited the anchor uses to be placed in the main central area. Anchor use would include a financial institution or a bank, in which case the proposal does include a financial institution. I would like to clarify that the proposal is not to relocate per se Scotiabank to the freestanding building, but just protect for the possibility of a future relocation. However, Scotiabank does not currently intend to leave the mall area, and there would not be a different financial institution in that building if Scotiabank didn't leave. So there would be clarification on this point in the amending zoning bylaw to confirm that only one financial institution is permitted on the subject property within all three SC1, 2, and 3 zones. So limiting the one financial institution, and really the proposal is just to protect for the possibility that maybe at one time Scotiabank may relocate outside of the mall to the new building. And then finally, with regards to the market study, which we did have peer reviewed by Ward Land Economics, confirmed that the additional retail space located in this freestanding building would not have any negative impact to existing main central commercial area and other commercially designated areas in the town. In which case, it's my opinion that the proposal does conform with the policy of the official plan. Again, here I've touched on the urban design, sustainability, and land use aspects of the proposal as well, which are built into our official plan and within the urban and landscape design guidelines approved through the official plan. The proposal will situate a building along a major arterial road for the town of Cobourg. This will enhance the gateway area for the town. It will also support active transit along these corridors. Another additional building within the Northumberland Mall parking lot will serve to break up the existing mostly asphalt parking area that is currently fronting on Elgin Street West, and will provide opportunities for enhancements of landscaping. Also opportunities for additional green infrastructure, including but not limited to permeable paving, rain gardens, the use of more sustainable building materials. So there are opportunities here, and of course the proposal does in itself represent a sustainable land use pattern, being that it's making use of existing municipal services that are already there and existing underutilized land. Finally, with regards to the zoning bylaw, the main premise of the application is, of course, to permit a multi-use freestanding commercial building within the SE1 zoned area of the subject property. In my opinion, the proposal does conform with all matters of interest, including provincial interest, county, and municipal policies. The addition of these uses in a freestanding building maintains the intent of the zoning bylaw. Other technical adjustments to the zoning bylaw will simply support what's existing there right now. The existing zoning bylaw that we're working with was last updated in 2007, and there's some parts of the zoning bylaw that don't necessarily reflect what's existing today on the ground, including building locations and existing driveway locations. So it's really just a means to update that. The subject property also has its main frontage along Elgin Street West, but it also has frontage along Rogers Road, so we want to make sure we'll continue to recognize the Elgin Street West frontage as the front lot line of the property, which is another update. But mostly, really, what I'd like to point to here is that there will be amendments in the implementing bylaw, just ensuring that the freestanding building permitted is up to 929 square meters, would permit the multi tenants, but limit the financial institution to one financial institution for for all three zones, SC1, 2, and 3. I just wanted to provide just a little overview of the proposal as it relates to the rest of the subject property. Again, this is the proposed freestanding building here in the top right corner, existing Northumberland Mall and outbuildings. A little zoomed in version here showing the proposed restaurant with the drive-through facility, the retail units, and then finally the financial institution. It's my opinion that the proposal conforms to the relevant policies and maintains the intent of the zoning bylaw. I have recommended a holding symbol be placed on the subject property that will ensure that other technical matters are reviewed through the site plan application process and prior to the final approval by the municipality. I will turn it back over to you, Ms. Chair.
Thank you so much again for that very concise and comprehensive summary. Any questions from members of council for the planning team? Mayor Henderson?
Thank you, Desta, for a detailed report. Just some points, if I may. Number one, sometimes I read it says to permit the proposed 929 M2, and sometimes it says 930. And I believe it's 930, but if you could help just clarify that for me, that would be helpful.
Excellent observation. It's, we would, in the implementing bylaw, we would say 930 square meters. Rounding up to 930 square meters. The proposed building on the site plan shows 929 conceptually, but...
Again?
If I could ask a subsequent question, I'm very clear on the permitted use of the future banking, and they say it could only be one in the future in all the zones of SC1, 2, and 3. But my question is, when we define that, is that the exterior space when it says all, or is that also include the interior space of the mall? So regardless whether you're in or out, I just need clarification.
Of course, it would include the whole of the subject property, whether inside the mall or outside of the mall. So the SC zone pervades the entire, any built form that's on there. So one financial institution, in or out.
Thank you for those clarifications. Any other questions from members of council? Councillor Darling?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I was reading in the literature there that it said, I was under the impression that it was a Scotiabank going, but you have stated there earlier that it's not at this time. Does Scotiabank have the first right of refusal on that area, or can any other bank apply to it to locate there?
So I don't have any details in terms of the agreement between the current tenant and first right of refusal, but I can confirm that as so long as Scotiabank continues to exist in the mall or anywhere in the mall, that no other bank could apply because there would already be one existing financial institution. And right now, Scotiabank does have its main facility within the downtown area, and that's why Scotiabank was permitted to have this this secondary financial institution outside of the core. So that would be something that would need to be looked at if it was a different financial institution attempting to locate.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Final call for questions from members of council. Okay, seeing none, over to Mr. Larmer to explain or to bring forward Municipal Advisory Committee comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. List on the agenda, there's one memo from Advisory Committee, and it's a memo from the Secretary of the Planning and Development Advisory Committee dated November 19th, 2019, regarding a motion of endorsement for the approval of the zoning bylaw amendment at 1111 Elgin Street West, Cobourg, Trinity Development Group Inc., Northumberland Shopping Centre Inc.
Thank you very much for that. And as we move on to public submissions, just a quick summary of the order of things for this section of the public meeting. We ask that all members of the gallery coming forward to and addressing council to state your name and your address for the official record of the public meeting. We will begin with public submissions in support of the application, followed by public submissions in opposition of the application. We will then go to the clerk for any additional submissions, back to the senior planner for to advise on any written submissions, and then the applicant will have an opportunity to respond should they feel so desired. Depending on we will be keeping any public submissions to about 5 minutes because we are on a tight deadline as we have committee of the whole at 6. So at this time, I would invite any members from the gallery to come forward to the podium to address council with any submissions in support of the application. Okay. Seeing none, moving on to any members in the public who would like to ask a question or statement in opposition to the application. Okay. Thank you very much. Seeing none, over to you, Mr. Larmer, for any additional written comments or submissions received by yourself at printing of the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As of about noon today, we did receive a correspondence from Weston Consulting Planning and Urban Design. Ryan Guter, Senior Vice President, submitted on behalf of the owners of De Palma lands for the proposed rezoning of 1111 Elgin Street West. They're requesting to be notified as to the status of the application due to proximity of it to the De Palma lands and support the recommendation of page 12 of the attached staff report with concerned additional language added to the draft amendment to the zoning bylaw.
Thank you for that. Over to the Planning Department to advise of any additional written submissions received from commenting agencies.
No additional submissions received.
Thank you. And a final invitation to the applicant for any additional responses. Okay. Seeing none, just moving into further notice. Just a reminder for all persons requiring notice of passage of this proposed zoning bylaw amendment are advised to notify the municipal clerk of your name and address to ensure receipt of notice. Thank you for coming out this evening, and a call for adjournment. Councillor Burkett. Thank you very much.